Indeed. I wonder if the Rumpus has asked Rory for the $5,000, given that he appreciates entirely that it doesn't include perspective.
No,
Excited
I've
you,
offered
Rumpus.
Zach I've offered Zach to duff Ranty in because Ranty's trying to claim the $5,000 that Zach originally had. So I've offered Zach that I said, look, I'll duff Ranty in if you want, so that you can get the $5,000.
I mean, I said to Ranty, if it's open to you, then it's equally open to Kosho, who says we're an idiot for thinking the calculator needs perspective in it, or Rumpus, who makes it clear that the calculator's not performing viewing functionality and perspective is not required, or Wiggles, who has made his own calculator using the exact same actual sizes and makes it very clear that perspective is not a requirement in a geometric calculation, or Bob the Science Guy, who made it clear that the angular resolution limit or diffraction limit is not included in the begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking curve calculator. So if Ranty can claim that $5,000, so can all that list of people too. The only difference being that they're all on Rory's side. How amusing that is.
I wonder where all the call out videos from, you know how they say, like, they always confidently claim that they call each other out frequently. I haven't seen any videos calling Rory out for getting this wrong. Where's all the ballers calling Rory out on, like, publicly with the hate videos and the vitriol? And where's all the trolls in chat going, yeah, Rory, you dickhead, you got it wrong. Commit suicide, you dickhead, and all that kind of shit. Where is that?
That doesn't matter. They're looking for confirmation bias or a personal attack that makes them think this person's personally not credible, therefore they don't need listening to. That's what they're looking for. Purely confirmation bias. So this is almost a non sequitur in the brain of a globehead. It means nothing to them.
Rumpus is saying it in chat now, because the Metabunk calculator does not include perspective, that means Rory owes Rumpus $5,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So Kosho, Wiggles, Bob the Fallacy Guy, Rumpus, well, they're all as entitled to the $5,000 as Ranty is. But Zach was ultimately the person who took him up on the challenge first. I mean, I didn't even know who he was when Zach was taking him up on it, let's put it that way. I don't know if Ranty, I'm sure Ranty would claim that he knew him years ago because he wants that $5,000 that'll never materialise.
So Rumpus, where's your call out video with Rory, like, basically getting it wrong? Where is that?
Yeah, nice that we can reiterate that it doesn't include perspective and show exactly what that means with a nice little illustration of how the angular size resolution limit is ignored, and something 10,000 miles away, the only cause that can ever be asserted is Earth curve obstruction. Ludicrous, when obviously a Rubik's Cube at 10 miles can't be seen. But what would the calculator say was causing that? Oh, Earth curve.
Where does it show that, you know, that addition to the Metabunk curve calculator, that angular size thing? Where does that get shown in the depiction underneath? Because I don't see it. Is it in there?
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been to the calculation. The last time I looked was when Walter Bislin included the angular size after the fact. And they're like, oh, it's got perspective. It's like, what? Just because he's put it in a perspective view? The basis of the depiction in that view is a geometric calculation, a side elevation. The mathematics aren't any different. It's the first question I asked when Walter Bislin's calculator came out. How is the mathematics different to Metabunk's? Answer, it isn't. Because if it was, we'd be holding everyone in the chat right now, including Rumpus, to task on why he used the wrong mathematics. If Walter Bislin's right and Metabunk is wrong, well, the answer to that question is no, they're exactly the same. They do the exact same function. They hijack perspective. That's their task. That's what they do. They beg the question, get you to assume you're on a sphere, and then hijack perspective and claim that something 10,000 miles away, the only reason it's disappeared is because Earth's got in the way.
Let me just address Rumpus's chat comment there. He says, I'm about to engage with Rory on a Metabunk thread about perspective on the Metabunk calculator. The new feature on the calculation... Oops, it's gone off screen, hang on. The new feature of the calculator, the angle size, is a perspective operation. How does it influence and interact with the observation, though? Because that's what we need to see. We need to see what the influence... Because what's it there for unless it shows the effect?
No, I'll ask a different question. So the addition of perspective to this calculation, Rumpus, would obviously therefore render the previous mathematics you presented to us here incorrect, because they did not include this additional function. It is, of course, I'm right in my assumption, Rumpus, that this is an additional function of perspective where it previously was not included. So I'd like to know when Rumpus will be back on, cap in hand, to explain why the mathematics he previously used was so wrong, having not included this viewing function, now included as an extra function applied to the mathematics. Of course, I could be wrong, like asserted earlier, which is to say they are exactly the same mathematics. We'll see.
And that would also mean that when Rumpus has said things like in the past, I've never been wrong on anything, I've always been 100% right on absolutely everything. Well, that would mean that every time you've applied the Metabunk curve calculator, Rumpus, unfortunately, it would mean that you were absolutely 100% wrong. Correct?
However, they are the same mathematics. Giving you an angular size after you have applied actual size geometric mathematics to something that is a viewing function, and then applying an angular size to represent it as a viewing function after you've calculated how much is gone, is not including perspective. Hello, Rumpus. No audio, my friend.
So my sound was off if anybody was talking to me.
Good to have you. So are you here to correct all the errors, the massive amount of errors that didn't include this extra function when you previously presented your mathematics here?
All my previous mathematics was absolutely correct and still is correct.
Oh, but
Did you take into account perspective?
No, because it doesn't need to be taken into account.
Oh, but the new ones do, don't they? But the new ones do, don't they?
No, they don't, because they're...
Excellent, thank you very much. You can piss off now. I don't want you here, you particularly pretentious prick. Thank you, that's all I needed. Now you can piss off.
Shout out to Rumpus.
Shout out to Rumpus. Rory, you owe Zach £5,000.